There are moments in life when I kept asking myself over and over again, why is this happening to me? Back then, no answer seemed to make sense. All I could feel was sadness, loss, and that quiet ache of unfairness. But as time went by, I started to realize everything happens for a reason. Some things that felt like endings were actually new beginnings in disguise. Some people had to leave so I could learn how to love and appreciate myself more, and some of the pain I went through turned out to be gifts, the kind that made me stronger, wiser, and more grounded. Now when I look back, I wouldn't change a thing, because without those days, I wouldn't be who I am today. And if you're going through a tough time right now, I just want to tell you this. Be patient with yourself. One day you'll look back and realize that even the things that hurt the most had a reason to be here. Hi there. I'm Wendy, and this is Heal and Grow Podcast, a space where we listen, heal, and grow together, one gentle step at a time. If you've ever watched Steve Jobs' famous commencement speech at Stanford University, you might remember this line. You can't connect the dots looking forward. You can only connect them looking backward. It means that you can't make sense of the events in your life while they're happening. You can only understand them later, when you look back and see how everything fits together. When we're in the middle of chaos, everything feels painful and meaningless. We wonder why things have to happen the way they do. But with time, as we look back, we start to realize that every event, every turn, every heartbreak was quietly arranging itself, connecting in ways we couldn't yet see, to create the bigger picture of our life. Steve Jobs himself was once forced to drop out of college, and later was even fired from the very company he founded. At the time, he must have felt like a failure, like his future had fallen apart. But those moments that seemed like mistakes ended up leading him to Pixar, where he rediscovered his creativity, and later back to Apple, where he created the iPhone, the iMac, the iPod, ushering in a whole new era of technology. In that same speech, he said another powerful thing. So you have to trust that the dots will somehow connect in your future. You have to trust that, even if things don't make sense right now, the dots will eventually connect, and everything will fall into place in the future. That's really a lesson about faith. Faith that even when we don't understand the meaning of what's happening, someday we'll look back and realize that it all made sense, that it all had a purpose. Maybe the person who hurt you was the one who taught you how to love and protect yourself. Maybe the job you lost was the push you needed to find your true passion, and maybe that closed door wasn't a rejection at all, but simply life redirecting you toward the place where you truly belong. What would happen if people could see their future? Just imagine if everyone knew exactly where their life would go, who they would meet, whether they would succeed or fail. What would life even feel like then? I think everything would lose its magic, because if we already knew our destiny, there would be nothing left to explore, nothing to wonder about. If we knew who we were going to meet, where we would succeed, or when we would fail, we wouldn't feel excited anymore. We wouldn't have the motivation to try, or any reason to hope. If we knew for sure that we'd succeed in the end, we probably wouldn't work as hard. And if we knew we were destined to fail, we might never even start. Because in truth, people only keep going when there's still a tiny spark of hope. That quiet, uncertain belief that says, maybe this time will be different. That maybe is what gives us courage. It's what pushes us to take one more step, even when we can't see where the road leads. If everything in life were already written, there would be no reason to persevere. The ending would already be decided. We wouldn't understand the meaning of hope, because there'd be nothing left to wait for, nothing left to believe in. And you know what? The most beautiful feeling in life is to live while still trying. Because if every outcome were known from the start, there'd be nothing left to be excited about, nothing to learn, and nothing to grow from. There are moments in life when everything changes before we're ready for it. For me, that moment was when I became a mother. At first, I resisted it. I had been so used to my freedom, to working, creating, and going wherever I wanted. But suddenly, everything revolved around my baby. The cries, the feeding, the sleepless nights. There were times I felt like I'd lost myself. My work was unfinished, my dreams put on hold, and sometimes just hearing my baby cry was enough to make me want to cry too. I kept asking myself, how did my life end up like this? But in those exhausting, quiet moments, when life forced me to slow down, I began to realize something. Maybe life wasn't taking my freedom away. Maybe it was giving me a new chance to learn how to love, to be patient, and to live more slowly and intentionally. In that confusing, in-between stage, I started writing again, started talking, and began sharing little pieces of my healing journey. And that's how Heal and Grow, this YouTube channel, was born, in those long, sleepless nights. Now when I look back, I understand that without that period of chaos, the fatigue, the loneliness, the resistance, I would never have found the peace I have today. Life, after all, always has its reasons. The things that once broke me were the very things that brought me home to myself, to a version of me who loves deeper, moves slower, and feels grateful even for the days I once thought I'd never get through. You know what? I used to not believe in the saying, everything happens for a reason. Because honestly, I'm quite a logical person. But the more I live, the more I realize everything in life happens for a reason, and always at the right time, in the right way. Think about it. Rain doesn't fall just to make us wet. It falls to wash the air clean, to give the seeds a chance to grow after long, dry days. Sunlight is the same. It's not always gentle. Sometimes it burns so bright it hurts your eyes. But that very heat helps the fruit ripen and the flowers bloom. And storms. Yes, they sound scary. They can take away things we want to hold on to. But after the storm passes, the soil becomes richer, the trees grow greener, and life begins all over again. In nature, nothing happens by accident. Everything has its rhythm, its own timing and purpose, and we humans are no different. Sometimes we lose a job, a relationship, or something we thought we could never live without. In those moments, it feels like the whole world is collapsing. Everything seems meaningless, and we don't know where to begin again. But after those long, uncertain days, we start to realize life is doing to us what nature always does. It's clearing away what no longer fits, forcing us to pause, so that something new can begin. Because only when what no longer belongs leaves, can there be space for what truly does. And when we finally calm down, we see it more clearly. That losing a job opens a new path. A broken relationship teaches us to love ourselves better, and every so-called setback is actually helping us grow, understand ourselves more deeply, and move closer to the life we're truly meant to live. And then, after all the chaos and challenges, life slowly finds its rhythm again. The storms fade, the days become gentler, calmer, and we start to see the value of everything we've been through. Those things that once felt like they would break us become the very stepping stones that lead us to a better place. One day, we realize every effort, every tear, every sleepless night wasn't wasted. We get promoted at work. We begin to welcome good things into our lives. And as we start piecing together all the fragments of our journey, the joy, the sadness, the confusion, and even the doubt, we suddenly see it, how everything fits together, almost perfectly. Life has its own quiet order. When we're in the middle of it, we can't see the whole picture. But once we've slowed down enough to look back, we understand that everything, good or bad, happened exactly the way it needed to. You know, everything really does happen for a reason. Even if you can't see it now, one day, when you look back, you'll realize that every single thing was leading you to where you were meant to be. Thank you for listening to Heal and Grow podcast today. I'm Wendy, and I hope your day feels calm and kind. Before we end, I want to ask you one thing. What's one moment in your life that didn't make sense back then? But now, looking back, you realize it happened for a reason?